Bob Lowe with today's strategic communicator, Ira Thor from New Jersey City. And Ira, you've been kind of one of the pioneers in technology. What are some of the things that you've brought to the Gothic Knights athletic program?
Well, in 2004, we became one of the first schools, at least in our region, to take the web out of in-house. The story with that actually is that we have a women's bowling team, so we compete against a lot of Division I teams, and we've made the NCAA championship. And I noticed that first year in 2004, that we were way behind the Division I's that we were competing at for the same championship, and wanted to see what we could do to expand our web efforts. And a lot of those schools were using CSTV and the Netator system. We couldn't afford that at our level. At that time, we reached out, and I discovered Sidearm when they were in their infancy, and became one of their first clients. And being a Sidearm customer over the years, what it's done for us in terms of just allowing us to be as creative as possible to tell the story that we want to tell, has really transformed everything that we do. And it's allowed us then to spend the time that we weren't designing the site, then trying to come up with more stories to really try to cast NJCU on the national level with some of the good stories our kids have. Now, in terms of video, I come from a TV background. I'm actually kind of an SID by accident almost, because I was trying to go into the television business, and always wanted to do video. Was always very interested. Broadcasting specifically was interested in. We always did our games, basketball, soccer, audio-wise. And then about probably 2005, we got our first camera, and next year started streaming games. And about 2 years ago or so, started doing our highlight videos. There's a lot of different ways people do it. Some people just do like a post-game interview with an athlete of the game. I like the ESPN model, where they do that, where they cut down the highlights. We'll have a graphic with the stats, and that's what we kind of emulated to be like. And we use, in terms of software, we've used a number of different things over the years. We've tried Windows Movie Maker, and all the way to some of the top software programs. I joined with our media department, and they gave us our first Mac, almost as a gift. Actually, it was an extra one they had around the office, and they had Final Cut Express on there, and we were able to experiment with that and have student interns come and edit video. Since then, I've expanded and looked at some other options. I have Adobe Premiere, which I'm personally a big fan of, because there's a lot of little elements to it that you can't get in some of the I don't want to say watered down, but the lesser version of Final Cut. And I actually just, in the last few weeks, bought Avid for my home computer, and I'm going to start playing around with that, and it looks like that could be a nice little answer. But I actually am a big fan of the Adobe Premiere. You can get it part of the
Creative Suite.
Well, there's the Creative Suite, which we all use for Photoshop and InDesign, but they now have a more advanced one. It kind of uses the Photoshop, the InDesign, and then all the other creative elements for somebody who does a lot of multimedia. I think some of the software they have in there that I haven't even had a chance to play around with, like the Flash, there's some good stuff in there. But Premiere is really good, and that if you have the money to spend on a software program, that might be the one at this point, because a lot of SIDs aren't familiar with Adobe.
So are you using your own video camera, or do you share with the coaches and then go ahead and edit it down the next day?
The first investment that we made when we really decided to dedicate ourselves towards video was I reached out to some of the local schools that I knew filmed games. Stevens Tech, actually nearby, was streaming games prior to us, and I reached out to them and found a Sony camera that worked for us. It was $2,000, but it gave you as close to a high-def video as it was the I think the GL. Oh, I'm sorry, not Sony, Canon. It's a Canon GL2.
Okay.
And it was about $2,200 at the time, and it was probably the top of the line video camera that you can get that was high-def quality below professional grade. And for us, it's been great. Now, in the past, we would, for highlights, for like end of the year videos, for example, for our banquets, we would use the stuff that the coaches shot, but the quality just wasn't the same. So we film our own stuff for soccer. We film our own stuff for baseball and softball and some of the other sports, volleyball. And basketball, obviously everybody for basketball, they film every single game. And we decided to incorporate having one person who's already dedicated to shooting the game film for basketball do it for us as well, not duplicate our efforts. And it's worked out really well.
So you're splitting that through a FireWire, and then also
Exactly.
The coaches are burning their own DVD?
We've split it up where one cable's coming out and that's going straight into the DVD burner. So you have your DV straight after game to exchange with the other team, and then we have another cable that we run to our computer that we stream live. We've been using Ustream, actually, per your suggestion. We've been using Ustream as one of the options that we use. We had some other companies that we've used to try to get the video out there, but Ustream seems, it's free always is a very good option. So, and the beautiful thing is, obviously we stream our home games, but there are times where fans are not going to obviously travel 6-7 hours if you're playing in the tournament, or if you're playing in Florida for baseball, and we've almost become the lifeline in terms of video streaming. A great example is we had a women's soccer player from Australia, and her dad used to wake up at about 2-3 in the morning down under to watch his daughter play, half a world away.
Well, Ira, where can people check out some of your video? Give us your website.
If you go to NJCU GothicKnights.com, we have the video player right at the top, and it's connected to our YouTube channel. Being a sidearm customer, they helped us get off the ground with the YouTube channel, and everything's organized.
All right, well, that's today's strategic communicator, Ira Thor.